5 minutes after 6 a.m. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nachum Siegel. This is your Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program. I look to my left. I see an Israeli soldier. We look to the area where we are sitting right now in the Gush Etzion region of Israel. And we see some amazing towns, some incredible cities. The unbelievable growth of the state of Israel and the people of Israel. The amazing initiative that the Jewish people have taken. This area might be one of the most practical and symbolic areas of both of those. Or of that, I should say, of the incredible initiative of the Jewish people, especially in the state of Israel. We are at Pinah Chamah, founded back in 2001. They call it Cozy Corner, ironically enough, for those of us who have cozy corners in our own neighborhoods in New York. The Pinah Chamah, the hot or warm or cozy corner, started back in 2001. And here at the Jewish Unity Initiative, on the final day of our journey to Israel, the question was, where should we broadcast? And the answer on day number one was obviously a very, very good choice, with Har HaBayit in back of us. I need more volume on this. Day number two, obviously a very, very good choice. Rehov Dizengoff in Tel Aviv, reminding all of us that no matter what our background, no matter where we live, no matter who we are and what we do, we are one. We are one, and in no way did that come through more clearly yesterday than during the musical segments on Rehov Dizengoff, when everybody of all different backgrounds was enjoying the great music. And then the question was, on the final day, before we leave Israel, with this message of solidarity, brotherhood, and sisterhood, and with this message of tourism, and begging people, literally, I'll say it like that, begging people to come here as often as possible, where should we be on this final day? And the answer is in the heart of the Gush Etzion region, right next to cities like Efrat, El-Azar, Alon Shvut, Neve Daniel, and many, many others that surround us at this moment. We chose places for the Jewish Unity Initiative that had made headlines over the last few months. Headlines not for the best of reasons. And here, at the Tzomet HaGush, at the Gush interchange, the Gush intersection, here there have been many headlines, unfortunately, that included bad news for our brothers and sisters. Some of the... Are we about to get a tour?
No, Simon Jacobs is about to.
Is that Simon?
Yeah.
I'll believe it. When he said he had a bus, he meant it.
He asked me if we needed additional... and is that who I think it is? Is Barry with him?
Simon has pulled up with a bus to join us here at the Jewish Unity Initiative program.
1 second. He rented the bus.
Understood.
I didn't understand that until a second ago.
Right.
Okay. Good morning, Nachum. How are you?
Good morning, Miriam Al-Wallach. I was finishing a thought.
Yeah, sorry about that.
On the Jewish. No, it's not your fault. It's Simon and the bus's fault.
It's Simon's fault.
I was finishing a thought about the Jewish Unity Initiative wrapping up in this area, and because this is so symbolic of the growth of the Jewish people, and such a warm and important spot for Israeli soldiers, we felt this is where we should wrap it up. The message of brotherhood, sisterhood, and of course, encouraging people to tour and get to Israel as soon as possible. Literally, a bus has just pulled up.
With a bunch of cute little kids.
With wonderful people representing different generations who are here to support our Jewish Unity Initiative, which is here to support
Did he bring a drone?
The people of Israel. Simon, you didn't bring a drone, did you? Just checking.
Right.
We'd need special permission for that, so we needed to know if we had to put in for that. All right, Shlomo Katz is scheduled to join us. We have a lot of guests here. We're at the Pinah Chamah, and a lot of people in the United States are responsible for Pinah Chamah because support from the United States is constantly coming from the U.S. to this incredible facility. Pinah Chamah, located in the Gush, is a place that's welcoming to soldiers. They need a hot cup of coffee, some delicious cake, or just a smile, and they get it here at the Pinah Chamah at the Tzomet HaGush. Information about supporting this worthy cause, 516 516-532-6468. Ask for Tina. 516-532-6468. Here we are at Tzomet HaGush and Pinah Chamah. Shlomo Katz, I'll be here later. Here he is now as we continue with JM in the AM.
הכהנים והעם העומדים בעזרה שהיו שומעים אס השם הנכבד והנורא הכהנים והעם העומדים בעזרה שהיו שומעים אס השם הנכבד והנורא היו קוראים ומשתחווים ומועדים ונפלים על פניהם 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 והכהנים והעם העומדים בעזרה שהיו שומעים אס השם הנכבד והנורא היו קוראים ומשתחווים ומועדים ונפלים על פניהם 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 koidim ומשתחווים ומועדים ונופלים על פניהם היו 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 koidim ומשתחווים ומועדים ונופלים על פניהם ונופלים על פניהם ונופלים על פניהם
Shlomo Katz, who's scheduled to join us later on from Pinah Chamah. We're here at Somat Gush, the Gush intersection, an amazing place to wrap up our Jewish Unity Initiative week here at the JM and the AM radio program. Want to welcome the students of the Chamah Institute who are here. The Chamah Institute, under the leadership of Rav Shimshon Jacob, is a unique school that we featured probably before anybody else on JM and the AM, and located in Yerushalayim, right? Located in Katamon. And we invite everybody to check it out for their, what would we say, 12th graders?
12th graders and above.
12th graders and above. For the boys, obviously, right? For the men out there. Best way for them to check it out would be? ChemachInstitute.org. That's ChemachInstitute.org. And apparently one of the disciplines that they're now going through at the Chamah Institute is photography. So don't be surprised if you'll see Chamah Institute students who are posting photographs of this unique show here at Pinah Chamah in the Gush. Later on, we're going to play for you the interview I did last night with the mayor of Yerushalayim, Nir Barakat, who had a few things to say about Jewish unity and about tourism and travel to Israel. He actually reminds everybody that it is much safer to travel to Israel than to most other major cities in the Western world, which I think is an amazing thing to hear the mayor of Jerusalem say. So we'll have that. I want to take this opportunity to thank Ira Hauser, who really coordinated everything on this end so that we could broadcast from here. And I remind you that Pinah Chamah has an opportunity for you to support this unique operation that assists our Chayalim, our Israeli soldiers. At the Pinah Chamah Purim cards available to you to send to family and friends. For information about that, speak with Terry at 516.
Tina.
Excuse me, it's Tina at 516-532-6468, 516-532-6468. You know, I have many thoughts about this week. The Jewish Unity Initiative, which has been now in a variety of places around the world, and in reality started before it was formally called the Jewish Unity Initiative here in the state of Israel. When we first did our pushes for people to remember our brothers and sisters here during all times, but especially during trying times, and to get here as tourists. I shouldn't say not just. Of course, as Olim, as our friends in Nefesh B'Nefesh will always remind us, but first, if necessary, as tourists, to tour the land, to spend some money here, and to assist in keeping the Israeli economy as active and as vibrant as possible. And we got here this week and brought this vision of not being really with specific organizations, but doing a complete unity mission from places that felt appropriate. And to that end, Mr. Abe Banda and everybody at Pomegranate have to be thanked, because they endorsed and went along with this mission immediately and understood that Yerushalayim and Tel Aviv and here at the Gush are three amazing locations to bring this message and to remind the people in the diaspora just how urgent and important it is to express our love and solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Israel. Now, I could tell you, we've been to a variety of places. We've seen a lot of this land over the last 48 hours, a lot. And there are places, and I think someone mentioned this yesterday, there are places, especially those that depend on Israelis and more local people, that are doing fine and are progressing well. But those who are dependent on tourists, those restaurants, those shops, those cab drivers that are dependent on tourists, many of them are suffering. And it's hard to believe that just one decision to come and make a trip to Israel can make such a difference, but trust me, we see it with our own eyes. We see the difference between a hotel that's full and a hotel that's not. We see the difference between a restaurant that's full and a restaurant that's not. We see the difference between people who are working and have jobs as tour guides and those who cannot find enough work at this time. So every single person and every single synagogue and every single mission and every single organization that makes a commitment to come here is actually doing something that's so valuable, so priceless, so important, you don't even realize it. We're here and we realize it, and we hope you get this message and plan a trip as soon as possible. There are others that we have to thank who have been instrumental in... is Rabbi Halleckman tuned in?
Yes, he is.
A shout out to the sports rabbi, Rabbi Josh Halleckman, and I hope you're watching right now at NachumSegal.com. Hope you're watching right now, like everybody out there can watch at NachumSegal.com. Oh, you wanted to add something and your mic was on?
No, I was trying to figure out why I couldn't hear myself, and that's because ZK didn't have my mic on. I'm pulling it down.
You're breathing. It's getting
I'm breathing. That's the complaint.
You got to
about
stop
me
breathing.
today.
That's it. Sports rabbi Rabbi Josh Halleckman, big fan of JM and the AM, and I bet he is very happy that we have brought this message to the people in diaspora by visiting Israel, that we have brought this message to people in diaspora by being here on the spot, by reminding everybody how important it is to remember our brothers and sisters, and of course, to get to Israel as soon as possible. I want to thank our friends at Traveler's Choice, Yossi Devora and their staff at 212-868-8698. They did everything in their power to help get us here. I want to thank the people at Travel Cell who are keeping us connected back to the United States of America. Go to TravelCell.com and make sure your phone rental for any country comes from Travel Cell, since they're supporting our efforts. I want to thank Alex and Penina and Avi and Shlomit, everybody at the Inbal Hotel, for again providing that as a home base for us, for our operation with this incredible network. I want to thank Mayor Kruder of Kruder Photography, who is here with us. And I want to thank David Fadida, who's been so helpful in making sure to provide and enhance our musical entertainment all through these days. I also want to give a special shout out and thank you to those who have supported the Pinah Chamah in the past and who were instrumental in helping found it. When we first mentioned to a couple of people that we wanted to come to Israel and accomplish something symbolic and practical, they recommended Pinah Chamah. And one of them was Rabbi Heshi Billet, who many of you know from the Young Israel of Woodmere. He was very enthusiastic about us being here. I bet he would want to be here with us right now. I would bet. So, Rabbi Billet, I thank you, and to everybody who's been supporters of this incredible effort. And, of course, our amazing staff. If you've missed any of the social media pieces over the last few days, you're missing a lot, because there's some great photo albums that are going up. You'll find them on the Nachum Segal Network Facebook update page. Those are being done by Mayor Kruder and Jamie Turkel. And we suggest that you go and see some of the things that we've been able to see. From the incredible view of Har HaBayit to the amazing spirit of music on Rehov Dizengoff, to the message of brotherhood and solidarity that we're bringing here to the Pinah Chamah, to our Israeli soldiers, and to all the people who are living here in the Gush Etzion region of Israel. More coming up. You're listening to JM in the AM at 91.1 FM. 90.1 FM in the Catskills. Rockland County is at 91.9 in the FM dial, and around the world on the web, jmnam.org, and of course on the NSN app.
Hashem Elokeichem Bonim atem LaHashem Elokeichem כי עם קדוש אתה, כי עם קדוש אתה, להשם, להשם אלוהיך. בונים אתם, להשם אלוהיכם. בונים אתם, להשם אלוהיכם. כי עם קדוש אתה, כי עם קדוש אתה, להשם, להשם אלוהיכם. ובך בחר השם, ובך בחר השם, להיות לוי לים סגולה, לים סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה. ובך בחר השם, ובך בחר השם, להיות לוי לים סגולה, לים סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה.
בונים אתם, להשם אלוהיכם. בונים אתם, להשם אלוהיכם. כי עם קדוש אתה, כי עם קדוש אתה, להשם, להשם אלוהיכם.
ובך בחר השם, ובך בחר השם, להיות ישראל לים סגולה, לים סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה. ובך בחר השם, ובך בחר השם, להיות ישראל לים סגולה, לים סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה. להיות לוי לים סגולה, לים סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה. ובך בחר השם, ובך בחר השם, להיות לוי לים סגולה, לים סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה.
It's a JM in the AM radio broadcast here on a Thursday morning, and we're at Pinah Chamah in Israel at the Tzomet HaGush. We are right in the middle of the Gush Etzion region as we wrap up our Jewish Unity initiative for this week. Has been quite a time, to say the least. Tried to choose locations that have been infamously in the news over the last few months, as we know, for random attacks, etc. That's how we ended up on Tuesday in the old city of Yerushalayim, yesterday in Rehov Dizengoff in Tel Aviv, and here today at the Tzomot HaGush at the Pinah Chamah. We are recommending that everybody continue to support the Pinah Chamah. You can call 516-532-6468, 516-532-6468. Mayor of Efrat's going to be joining us coming up. Yishai Fleischer, who has been an amazing guest for us in terms of inspiring people to get to Israel as soon as possible, either as visitors or as permanent residents. He's going to be stopping by. He'll be joining us as well. Ruthie Gillis, the wife of Dr. Shmuel Gillis, and whose memory Pinah Chamah was founded back in 2001, is going to be joining us. Shlomo Katz is scheduled to be doing our live Jewish music performance here in honor of the Israeli soldiers. He'll be joining us later on. Mayor Kruder is here, has been doing our photographic work from Kruder Photography. Some of the photos on Facebook and other places have really been getting quite a response, to say the least. He's taking a selfie of me and him at Pinah Chamah as we speak. I didn't know professional photographers actually use phones to take selfies. I thought you only deal with really fancy photographic equipment, frankly.
They say that the best camera is the one that's with
Kol
you.
hakavod, toda rabah. We have Israeli soldiers coming into Pinah Chamah. We got an opportunity to say thank you to them. I was once in Pinah Kedem. I'll never forget this story. I was once in Pinah Kedem, which is not far from here, right? How far is Pinah Kedem from here? 10 minutes? 15. You know the kite festival in Pinah Kedem? Sure. I was once there. And I go over to a group of Israeli soldiers. There are about 10 of them, 12 of them. And I say to them, thank you. Because of you, I could live in the United States. Which I honestly believe, but we don't have to get into that now. I could live freely, right. I could live freely in the United States because of you. And they looked at me like they had no idea what I was talking about. Like, you know, like I'm taking them too seriously. So a lot of times when you say thank you to the soldiers, they'll respond to you or react to you like it's no big deal what they're doing, but we know what kind of big deal it is. So I took this opportunity. I apologize, Mayor Kruder, for interrupting. So anyway, congratulations to you, because some of your photographs from this journey have gotten quite a response.
Thank you.
A lot of good reaction. Curious what you think as you've been touring around with us and you've been to places like the Old City, Rehov Dizengoff and Tel Aviv, with some unique and really off the charts live music on Dizengoff, which we were doing yesterday.
It was wonderful.
And now that you're here at the Gush, I'd like to hear your impressions of this whole journey and the different things you've been able to see over the last 3 days.
Well, it's an honor for me to travel with you. A place like Pinah Chamah, I've never been here before. I've only been to Tel Aviv a few times, so it's really nice to experience it and to get to meet some of the people that are involved in these locations and that contribute to our solidarity. And I don't know.
Do you think the solidarity message is coming through in your photographs? Because if not, I got a real beef to...
I'm not sure.
You think it's coming through? You think people are getting the brotherhood and sisterhood of this journey through the photographs of yours that they're looking at? Is that message coming through?
It's I'm just pressing the button and capturing what you guys set up.
So you have the easy job, huh?
I have the easy job.
It's us here who have to keep this message of solidarity going.
That is correct. I'm just behind the camera most of the time, and
you know, we've been pushing people to visit and to move to Israel. Is this something that you're now considering because of all the talk you've been hearing over the last 72 hours? Are you considering more visits to the state of Israel?
Absolutely, especially with weather like this.
Well, weather like this is one thing. Weather like yesterday and the day before, believe you me, I can go for that. So there you have it. How do people reach Mayor Kruder and Kruder Photography? Just Kruder.com?
Yeah, Kruder.com. Go to my website, KRUTER.com. We have an email address there, telephone number there. You can see some of my work there.
And thank you for all your help.
Thank you. I look forward to working more.
There he is, Mayor Kruder, everybody. Taking care of the solidarity message through photographic stills. That's his job, is to make sure the message comes through his photographic stills and skills. More coming up. You're listening to JM in the AM.
יחוסיו יחוסיו כי ימך מכל חיים באורך נראו כי ימך מכל חיים באורך נראו מה עיקר חסדך יחוסיו כי ימך מכל חיים באורך נראו כי ימך מכל חיים באורך נראו כי ימך מכל חיים כי ימך מכל חיים באורך נראו
I'm told that a member of the IDF is scheduled to join us in the next few minutes. That's what we're told. That we're actually going to have a member of the IDF, and it is exciting for us when we are able to say thank you to the Israeli soldiers who are coming here to Pinah Chamah to grab some coffee or something to eat. Earlier today, we saw a soldier here who explained to us because of an operation that was going on, some type of military movement. I don't want to make it sound too dramatic, but something that was happening. The people who normally deliver food to them were not able to, and therefore they were here to pick up some food to bring back to the soldiers. So if you're wondering about whether this type of facility is necessary, I think we have our answer right there. So we're at the Tzomet Gush Etzion, the Pinah Chamah. If you are listening right now in the area, you're certainly invited to come on over and say hi. We are anticipating Shlomo Katz to join us with a live music performance. And as we said, we're going to try and speak with members of the IDF who are stopping by and taking advantage of Pinah Chamah during our JM and the AM radio broadcast. I want to thank our staff, everybody who is working hard to bring you this broadcast, especially Stan back in our studio, ZK, our chief engineer here on the spot, and Jamie Turkel, who's doing all of our social media as we speak. Without a doubt, as I've said many times this week, the greatest advocate of the Jewish Unity Initiative, Mr. Simon Jacob, is here. And I want to thank him, his enthusiasm, and the continued support of this incredible project has been one of the reasons that it's been so successful. And where the Jewish Unity Initiative will take us next, we don't know, but believe me, it's certainly under discussion. Brand new Shalsheles Jr. as we continue with more from Pinah Chamah on day 3 of our incredible Jewish Unity Initiative journey to Israel. Coming up at 8:30 this morning, my interview with the mayor of Yerushalayim, Nir Barakat. That's coming up at 8:30 this morning here at JM in the AM. And plenty more if you keep it right here at the Nachum Segal Network. Don't forget, you can watch all of this at NachumSegal.com right now on the homepage. with brand new Shalshelis Jr. We're sitting here at Pinah Chamah in the Gush Etzion region of Israel. Neve Daniel, Elazar, Efrat, Alon Shvut. Anybody else want to help me with some towns around here? Migdalos. Tekoa.
Meitzad,
Meitzad?
Karmeitzur.
Karmei Tzur. Pnei Kedem, still one of my
Kedem.
favorites.
Okay.
You mentioned Tekoa.
Mandel's out in Tekoa.
All right. Shlomo Katz is here. We're going to rock the place. He's coming up with live music later this morning here at JM in the AM. For two reasons, David Ehrlich is an important person for those who live in the United States and want to help people in Israel. For two reasons. I'll start with this reason first, because you think the second reason might be more important. First reason is when you have somebody in Israel that you really, really, really want to make happy and put a smile on their face and send them some really delicious items. For instance, your kid who might be in Israel, your youngster, your son, your daughter, who might be here studying in Israel. David and his company, Gilly's Goodies, they provide those incredible snacks. Some of which, by the way, if you're watching on the video right now, thank you, Yossi. Shout out to Yossi Baumel. If you are watching on the video screen right now, you could see some of these right now. Look at this. Look at this. Chocolate chip cookies. Granola cookies. Hang on, I'm still with the cookies here. What else do we have here? We have here
Crinkles, and these are pecan crisps.
Crinkles, pecan crisps.
These are for you guys, they're for the staff.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You got to speak closer.
Speaking of the close, okay.
Gilly's Good, and the second reason, of course, is because Gilly's Goodies makes as strong an effort as possible to provide delicious food items for Israeli soldiers. Simple
Right,
as that.
right.
And, we joke about the first part. Somebody wants to send a gift. Obviously, they could use your company, send a nice gift, take care of their kids, birthday parties, etc., when they're thousands of miles away. But for us, as a collective Jewish world, the fact that you're doing whatever you can for the Israeli soldiers, obviously, it goes an even longer way. This Gilly's Goodies is how old now? How long have you been doing this?
Since 2001, Baruch Hashem, and it's been a long haul through the whole trip. It's been great. In fact, Pinah Chamah started around when we started as well.
Right.
And we used to see testing our recipes, getting bigger, like making from Gail's home kitchen to our factory. I make a chocolate cookie instead of 1 kilo, you make 50 kilos. It doesn't go so easily all the time. So all the leftovers came here. So these guys benefited from our starting out in the Gush tremendously.
Very nice.
And until today, we regularly come over with baskets of cookies and cakes and things. These are not leftovers. These are
really good,
these are
fresh.
really
I see
good.
the packaging
They're
is
good and
even more
fresh.
enhanced than it was years ago.
That's right.
David Ehrlich is here from Gilly's Goodies. All right, where do you live in the Gush?
We live in Efrat. Of
All right,
course.
why is it so important that we are here today? You live in Efrat. It is rare that you have somebody coming from outside of Israel to speak nicely about this region of Israel. Why is it so important that JM and the AM and our Jewish Unity Initiative is here in the Gush today?
I'm going to use one of Rabbi Riskin's favorite lines, is that we basically are a kesher between Hebron, Israel's past, and Yerushalayim, Israel's future.
Right.
And Efrat being here is such a zchut that we live here. The fact that we were populating this area, which is basically a ring around Yerushalayim. We're a really important ring. And now, for sure, recently, it's been a difficult time. We work over in Rosh Tzurim, and we live in Efrat, and right over here is where a lot of shootings are going on. And it's been hairy. It's been difficult sitting in traffic jams, knowing the guy behind you, the guy in front of you.
Yeah, we haven't even pointed this out enough. Yesterday we did the same thing on Rehov Dizengoff. We were just a block or two away from the most recent stabbing there. But this Tzomet that's to my left,
Right.
People could actually watch the videos of attacks that terrorists have had on groups of people, have done
Stabbings.
tremendous damage to
Run-bys.
life and limb, and of course to families.
Right.
And you talk about a location important to be in. That's one reason why it's important that
That's why
we're
we
here
never
today.
leave. That's right. We can't show them. We can't stop driving on the roads. We can't stop shopping in Rami Levy next door because it's very close to this area.
Right.
We must keep on our life going the way it is. It's very important. There's no question about that.
All right, how do people get information about Gilly's Goodies, sending product to...
So actually, I had a great idea.
Yeah.
I want to offer your listeners
Yeah.
a special. that we do soldier packages for Purim. Every Chag we do them. But last year we gave out like almost 3,000 soldier packages to the soldiers. Baruch Hashem. Anybody who buys 4 packages for the soldiers, $18 each, and writes in referred by Nachum Siegel, we'll give them a 15% discount towards a Shalach Manos package they want to send in the future to their children, grandchildren, family, and friends in Israel.
They do this on the web? How do they do
They
it?
go to our website and they click on Send a Smile to Somebody Else, not just for their grandchildren or children. And under there we have packages for the soldiers, for Hatzalah, for the first responders, and for kids from Shalva, special needs children from Shalva. So they go onto that section. If they order 4 or more and put down Nachum at the checkout, we'll give them a certificate by email back, 15% off your Shalach Manos order for this coming Purim.
GilliesGoodies.com?
GilliesGoodies.com.
GilliesGoodies.com, everybody. That's how you do it. And
Toll-free number is 866-721-7292.
from the United States.
And
866.
721-7292.
And we should stress, especially for those who are really glad that we're here today, that you're supporting people in the Gush when you order from Gillies Goodies.
Baruch Hashem. Thank
All
you.
right, so keep that in mind. David Ehrlich, I thank you. Let's hear it for
Thank you
Gillies
very,
Goodies,
very
everybody.
I appreciate it.
Go and buy and enjoy, and thank you for the goodies. It's much appreciated, that's for sure.
These are for the soldiers. These are for you.
They should all be for the soldiers.
No,
They should all be for the
These
soldiers.
are for the soldiers.
No,
and
I
these-
want these.
I want you to have.
I'd like you to have someone bring those inside so the soldiers can enjoy them. We are not going to take away from the soldiers today. Absolutely not.
Okay.
And it'll make some people very happy if I don't need
Let's
any of
get a
these
photo
anyway.
up first. Look at the camera over there. Nachum.
Look at the camera, then we'll
you
fight
go.
about how you're going to bring them into
Okay.
to the soldiers.
Very good.
Pinah Chamah is featuring Gillies Goodies for the soldiers, and we thank them. All right, we mentioned earlier that our musical guests, each one of them this week, has really been able to fit in perfectly to connect with each of our locations. Harabayit with Ohad and his incredible voice and some of the meaningful songs that he sang, including his Yerushalayim selection. Then yesterday when we had the amazing on-the-street performances by Uzia Tzadok and Daniel Ahaviel, it was just perfect for a Tel Aviv-Dizengoff street. And now, here in the Gush, who better than Shlomo Katz? As he just said to me minutes ago, now welcome to my neighborhood. Who better than Shlomo Katz to give us a little inspiration, to give us a little bit of a boost here on a Thursday at JM in the AM. So Shlomo Katz is coming up. We'll be doing some live music and continuing with our Jewish Unity Initiative here in the Pinah Chamah in the Gush region, the Gush Etzion region of Israel. And I thank all of you for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our Facebook update page. It is simply entitled Nachum Siegel Network. When you go there, you'll be seeing some of the photos from today. We'll try to post some videos as well. We had a video, actually. Yeah, the Daniel Javiel video was, very huge. A lot of people were commenting on that video from his performance on the street yesterday on Rehov Dizengoff, so you could check that out, and we'll try to post other videos here as well. Want to again welcome the Kemach Institute, Reb Shimshon Jacob, and everybody from their students who are here to join us and be part of our Jewish Unity Initiative. It is much appreciated. Are we going straight, or what are we doing? All right, we're going to go to this break, do the Solomon Brothers, come back with Shlomo Katz. You're listening to JM in the AM.
Yerushalayim, 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 Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim habnuya, k'ir shechubala. ירושלים הבנויה כעיר שחוברה יחדיו, יחדיו עומדות היו רגלינו, עומדות היו רגלינו בשערייך ירושלים, עומדות היו רגלינו, עומדות היו רגלינו בשערייך ירושלים עומדות היו רגלינו עומדות היו רגלינו בשערייך ירושלים
JM in the AM, it's America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners-sponsored WFMU East Orange, WMFU Mount Hope, Rockland County at 91.9 on the FM dial. Broadcasting live from the Sonia and Robert Gold studios in Jersey City, New Jersey. Today, broadcasting live from Pinah Chamah in the Gush Etzion Junction, the Gush Etzion Interchange, Somet Gush Etzion. And a special shout-out to listener Yehuda. Where's Yehuda? There he is. Come on, everybody! A round of applause for somebody who did one of the most amazing things to be here today. He skipped school to join us today. Come on, he's a man after my own heart. Hope his principal's not listening. 13-year-old Yehuda is one of the biggest Nachum Segal Network JM fans in the world, and his mother Amanda approved of him being here today to join us. So thank you Are you from Alon Shvut? Where are you from? Beit Shemesh? From Beit Shemesh. They're from Beit Shemesh. They are here today enjoying the sunshine of Alon Shvut, or I should say of Gush Etzion, and they are here to enjoy this great show. And apparently, when Avrami hosts our live lunch later today, Yehuda's playlist, his request playlist, is going to be in front of Avrami's, is going to be on Avrami's desk, and he'll be playing a lot of the songs that he wants to hear. All right. Are we going to live music now? Are we going to live music now? We're switching our schedule? We're doing live music now? Oh, right. I didn't realize that. This is what happens when all the guests who are scheduled don't show up. Then we get an opportunity to go live music even earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our absolute favorites, somebody who welcomed me to his neighborhood minutes ago. The one and only Shlomo Katz is here. Can we hear it for Shlomo Katz, please? You want to hear the heart and the soul of the Gush Etzion region? Listen very carefully the next few minutes in this live performance by Shlomo Katz. Shlomo, bevakasha. And of course, you can watch this live performance right now at NachumSiegel.com. If you go to our homepage, every time Shlomo Katz sings for us. And we'll speak to Shlomo Katz in a few minutes. The brand new CD is entitled Yismach Melech, 10 selection CD. Go to ShlomoKatz.com. Go to ShlomoKatz.com. We'll speak with him coming up in just a few minutes. Eve Harrow is here. Eve is a tour guide here in Israel, host of Rejuvenation on the Land of Israel Network. She's also a mom of Chayalim.
I am.
That's quite a resume. I'll say Boker Tov since it's morning where our primary base is, and I say thank you for joining us here at JM in the AM.
My pleasure.
How meaningful is it that our Jewish Unity Initiative came to this area? We've been to Yerushalayim, we've been to Tel Aviv, we spent our last day in the Gush. How significant is it that we are here in the Gush today?
Extremely. The 3 boys who were kidnapped just down the block from here, which really is what pushed this idea of unity. The Pinah Chamah is also a positive step in the face of overwhelming grief. It's something that the Gush is particularly strong with, although it's a strength I think that all Israelis have, which is to take tragedies, to take really things that make you want to not get out of bed in the morning, and instead of hate and revenge and even thinking about the perpetrators or the enemy, decide to make the world a better place, decide to take some meaning out of what happened and turn it around. That's what this Pinah Chamah is all about, and that's to a great degree what the Gush symbolizes.
Where did this come from? Why is it that we, luckily, as Jewish people, have this trait, thank God, that we're able to rebound collectively in a unified effort and move forward as you just described?
We're Hashem's people.
Simple as that, huh?
It's as simple as that. We have faith in Him. He has faith in us. Those of us who have the enormous privilege, not just of living in Israel, but of living in Yehuda, of living in Judea, where this really all began, are every single day a sign of prophecies come true.
How long have you been in this country?
Since 1988.
And have you always been in the Gush region?
Yes, moved to Efrat from the very beginning.
Wow, that's...
Raised 7 children here, served for 10 years on the Efrat Local Council. Now taking tourists, both Jews and Christians, and anyone around Israel. Not about Judea and Samaria necessarily, right. About Israel and our place in the world.
Eve Harrow is here. Are you... I don't want to say surprised, I don't know if anybody's surprised by it, but we've noticed as we've been here that the number of non-Jewish tour groups seems to be going up, while the number of Jewish tour groups sometimes seems to be stagnant or maybe even going down. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very sad, because if we're talking about faith, so where's your faith, Jewish co-brothers and sisters? All right? You pray 3 times a day. You pray towards Israel. You understand more than anybody the tremendous miracle of the times that we're living in. So where are you? Is that really your faith? I was just in Shiloh last week saw a group of Chinese people there. Lots of people from the Far East here. They're coming. They're around. As you just said yourself, the Christians are here. Where's your faith?
Tell the Jewish mothers around the world who are listening right now what it's like to be a mother of a chayal. What's it like to be the mother of an Israeli soldier?
Aside from the copious amounts of laundry that we have to do, it is hard to find the words, and I make my living speaking. So if I say that, it's tremendous pride, tremendous worry, not on a few levels. One is that obviously God forbid something will happen to him. But coming right on the heels of that worry is that he'll have to hurt somebody else as he protects the Jewish people. And this is a child who I told, like, don't squish the spider unless he's, like, bothering you. And so it's a tremendous chud. It brings us back to the time of the Chashmonaim, where it was Mila Hashem Elai, warriors for God, warriors and for the Jewish people. So along with that worry comes faith that Hashem knows what he's doing, and somebody has to do this, so we're the somebodies. But if everybody did this, it would lessen the burden for those of us who are doing it. And unfortunately, not everybody is participating in this part of our life.
Yeah, well, you certainly know how to make people like me feel guilty. I can tell you that much. That's
Sorry.
for sure.
All I can do is speak from my heart.
What can I tell you? Have you I don't know if you noticed or not in the few minutes you've been here. I like to say thank you to the Chayalim. I see them. I like to say thank you. You know, my little part. Like, you know.
Right.
If I was them, I'd probably if someone was doing to me what I'm doing to them, I'd probably roll my eyes like, you know, thank you, like, you know.
No, you'd be surprised. They do
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
they don't take it for granted.
But that's my point. It's not that they don't appreciate it. It's sometimes they look at you like, you know, like sort of like, what are you thanking us for? Like that
Right.
type of thing. And there's a humility, a certain that you described just now, how heroic they are and how incredible a role they have in the present and future of the state of Israel. To them, there's a humility that doesn't allow them sometimes to understand that. Am I right?
You're right, and it's not just among the soldiers. It's among a lot of people in Israel. Let's say, for example, Racheli Frankel,
Right.
her son was killed not far from here, Naftali. And in conversations that I've had with her where I've said, do you understand what you're doing for other people? That if you can stand and say Kaddish over your son's open grave, do you understand what that means in terms of love of God? Because you had every reason to not be so happy at that moment. And she doesn't understand what I'm talking about. And there's other people all over this country who are doing tremendous acts of kindness and charity every single day. I don't think there's a person in this country, including maybe someone selling bananas in the market, who isn't some kind of hero, who hasn't suffered in some way for being here. And when you mention that to them, they don't understand, because many of us feel that this is a tremendous privilege to be able to do this. We feel that Israel chose us, not so much that we chose Israel. Speaking for myself, as someone who had a choice to come or not to come, I feel that I was chosen. That's an enormous feeling to live with every single day. And so these soldiers feel like they are privileged. I just had this conversation with my son, who's about to be posted in Hebron, no less. And he said, Ima, I can now do something to push the bad guys away from Israelis. I've been trained to do that. I've been trusted to do that. So you shouldn't worry about me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I have nothing to say to that.
That's for sure. Eve Harrow is with us. So we mentioned that we're here in the Gush and that you live here in Efrat. There's no question that among some people in Israel, look, someone said to me yesterday that they would never travel to the Gush. And somebody who you would not expect to hear that from, a Dati person who's, you know, living in another area of Israel, they would never go here because I believe it's because they've been convinced that it's a war zone, that it's a place where haphazardly you never know what may happen to you, that type of thing. And I think, frankly, the Israeli media has had a lot to do with that. You know, create this separation between certain areas and, you know, other areas of Israel that are, I don't know, that are either considered or deemed to be safer or etc. What is it like? This is sort of the question that Bibi was once asked years ago, what it's like to walk the halls of the UN when you know that everybody there is against you. What's it like to be in the Gush when there's so much, unfortunately, of an effort among the media and others in this country to really demonize people who live here?
So since I'm not a soldier, this is my part to play in defending the land of Israel and the people of Israel. Just by coming here, and I came to the Gush 2 days ago and walked around and gave chocolate to all the soldiers standing here. And this looks probably like Southern Lebanon did at some point, because if they can stand here, I can come here. So I believe in almost perhaps a cosmic plane as well as a physical plane. Every single thing that any one of us does to push back the evil, even if it's trite, changes the balance of good and evil in the world. I really do believe that. And it's a shame, this person that you said is Dati, is religious, maybe he looks that way. But in his core, if he's not coming here, if he can't come to the place between where Rachel Imenu is buried and the Avot and the Imahot are buried down in Hebron, then what does that say about him? And that gives a reward to the terrorists, because because they're trying to keep us away from our roots. And by not coming, we've rewarded them. So you don't have to give money to Hamas, and you don't have to support them in that way. You have by, there's errors of omission and of commission, and that's part of what he is doing. So I'm very proud to be living here. I'm not afraid. Okay, I'm not afraid. And maybe that's silly that I'm not afraid, but you have to believe that you have to do what's right. And after that, Hakol b'dei shamayim. And I'm sorry for your friend that he feels like that. And look, I was supposed, and I was supposed to have a tour next week that canceled because religious people from America were afraid to come. And it's really a shame. It's their loss.
Our Jewish Unity Initiative is concentrating on solidarity, brotherhood, and sisterhood, being here when times are somewhat difficult. And we know there have been random attacks and things that make the headlines. So we're here to show our care and concern to whatever degree we can. But the second part is tourism. The second part is to get here as soon as possible. You just mentioned this. Maybe a group out there now will be mashlim this group that you just spoke about. They just canceled. Maybe a synagogue or an organization or a family or a group of people will now say, you know what, let's go. Let's spend a few days in Israel, because there are people who are actively pulling out of their commitment to come to the Holy Land.
Well, I think it's important to mention, though, that we don't need people coming here. I say this advisedly. We're fine. You need to be here. It's just for you that you need to come to Israel, not for us. We're already here. But we're waiting for you. The food's fantastic. Tons to see. So come on over.
Eve Harrow, great speaking with you.
Thanks, Nachum.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Shlomo Katz is joining us. Oh, he's doing some live music first, then we'll speak with him. Shlomo Katz is here doing our live music performance. We're in his neighborhood here in Gush Etzion. That's right. Unlike when he visits me in Jersey City, we are visiting him here at Pinah Chamah in the Gush. Shlomo Katz, you can watch it right now at NachumSegal.com on the homepage. Watch his performance right now from Pinah Chamah live at NachumSegal.com.
ישמח מלך בעמו, בעמו במלכו. 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 וישמח מלך בעמו, בעמו במלכו. ישמח מלך בעמו, בעמו במלכו. la במלכו ישמח מלך בעמו בעמו במלכו ישמח מלך בעמו.
Well-deserved round of applause for the great Shlomo Katz. Here it is, by the way. This is the brand new CD. You see that, ZK? You got that in the shot? Hey, the king of schlock, Lenny Solomon, gets a shout out because he's listening and watching right now in Beit Shemesh. How do you like that? Yismach Melech, title track to Shlomo Katz's brand new CD. Holy brother. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. It has been a long time.
Too long.
Seriously, too long. We
Too
see
long.
each other usually like once a year or so.
Too long.
It's been a long, long time.
Last time I tried to come to you was pre-Waze. I got completely lost.
Yeah.
Jersey City.
That could happen, you know.
But
No, now the
now I'm not
Israelis
lost.
have solved that
Baruch
problem.
Hashem.
They created ways, and look what happened.
no, now I'm not lost.
Now there's nothing to worry about.
No.
So Shlomo Katz is out there. That's your composition, I assume?
This is the whole album's original tracks. Baruch Hashem.
How long did this take to put together?
Too long.
Years,
but,
right?
Yeah, it's like an 18th month pregnancy, but it was, you know, it was good. I shouldn't say that in front of any women here, not
That's
to.
for sure. Where do you live? In what city?
Efrat.
You're Mamash in Efrat.
I'm right here.
How many years are you in Efrat?
On and up, about 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is it important that this program, and you're very familiar with what we do in general, not just during this week of Jewish unity, why is it important that we're here in the Gush today? Why is it an important statement to be right here in the center of the Gush Etzion region?
We're sitting right now in between, smack in between Maras HaMachpelah and Beis HaMikdash. You could fill in the blanks.
Hebron and Yerushalayim.
This is it. We're
in the
right
middle.
in the between Hebron and Yer HaKodesh Yerushalayim. We're in the heart. We're in the heart of everything. Whatever else is happening in the world is all important, but what's happening here right now is the blood. This is giving the blood for the rest of the body, right here.
Do you think Jews outside of Israel are getting this message at all? Are we losing too many people who are just not understanding where the future of the Jewish people is? Or are they more like me, where they really do get the message, but they just haven't taken that step yet to be where you are? What do you think?
My Rebbe Shlomo said that, how do you explain that you have Jews that have no idea what the difference between Sukkot and Hanukkah, and they live in Eretz Yisrael, they never left, and you have Hasidic Yidden that are davening morning and night, and they're doing Siyam Shas every year, but, you know, they never come here. How could that be? He said that to hear the words Lech Lecha is a matnas chinam. It's an undeserved gift. So the fact that I was able to hear that, I don't credit that to anything, just as a matana, just as a gift. So I just pray that people trust their kishkas, and when they hear Lech Lecha, they don't doubt it for 1 second.
Oh boy, halavai. Shlomo Katz is here. He's doing our live music today. He lives in Efrat. Pinah Chamah is a symbol because it's chesed for Israeli soldiers, and you probably meet plenty of Israeli soldiers in your...
The chayalim, when we see them, just to get into, leaving and coming back to my house every single day.
You're always seeing chayalim.
Oh, everywhere. Freezing cold. Last night I got back from a concert late, 2 in the morning. I see these guys. I see these 19-year-old guys, not shaking, but standing there, covered up. We give the eye greet. What I want to do is jump out of the car and jump on them and hug them, but that wouldn't be the smartest idea either. But I'd come home as a shawarma, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, these days, no random hugs for soldiers.
No.
I'll tell you, and we're in an area where there's been some challenges. We're in an area where, right here at this Tzomet, there's been some...
This corner that we're in right now, I think about, I pass by it every day, but I think it was Eve that mentioned it before. I don't know if the chevra can see. I don't know what they're seeing exactly, but right behind your face,
to my left over here,
to your left, is the 3 boys, Gilad, Eyal, and Naftali. They were picked up. They got into that car a little bit to our left over there, but
right here.
Not here. They got right up there, but they were then shoved into that car, and they made that turn right here and made a right over here, and
That's
they were driven down there. So their last few minutes of being alive in this world took place right in front of Nachum where you're sitting.
Oh boy.
So this place is filled with holiness. it becomes holier and holier. And what a schus to stand here and talk to Hashem, talk to Chaverim, right over here, and showing, forget the world, showing ourselves that we're made out of something that we can't explain.
Oh, you could say that again. All right, Shlomo, thank you. We'll do more with you later, and I really appreciate it. And, of course, more live music. Congratulations, a brand new CD, Yismach Melech. They can go to your website. I assume these days they can purchase it right off the website, right? Everything's so instant these days, right?
Before I had my copy, it was
it was already out
ripped
there
off
being
the
sold.
website.
Now you really sound like you're Rebbe.
Now
you really sound like you're Rebbe. You know, I once said to Reb Shlomo, Reb Shlomo, the song you just sang, it sounds very similar to another song of yours. And you know what he said to me? Of course you know, because you know every transcript, every conversation I ever had with him. He goes, Reb Nachum, everyone else steals from my music. I figured I could steal from my music. Why shouldn't I steal from my music?
Awesome line.
Like
the best.
All right, thank you very much. Let's sneak in here. Ruthie Gillis. I remind you that the Pinah Chamah was founded in May of 2001 in memory of Dr. Shmuel Gillis and Tzachi Sasson, who were callously gunned down by terrorists on their way home to their families. They are both officers in the IDF. Shmuel, a doctor in a special unit, and Tzachi served as an officer with soldiers who did the reserve duty in the Gush Etzion area. Pinah Chamah was founded in their memory by Shmuel and Tzachi's widows, and Ruthie Gillis, in fact, is here. Toda rabah. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Bevakasha. You're welcome.
Whose idea was this? This terrible tragedy happens. How do you think of a Pinah Chamah to be founded in their memory?
It's a small thought that became to a big idea, because when we were sitting Shiva at home, I didn't know what we'll do afterwards, and I wanted to do something good. I wanted to do something for the soldiers that they would know that we want to come home safely. Another thought that I had is that Shmuel was a doctor in the army, and he was on Miluim in his unit, special unit, and when he came home he told me, now I feel that I can also be the father of the soldiers. I'm too old to be only a doctor of them. And all those things together brought me to the thing to put a small place. I didn't thought it will be such a special place, in the place that he was killed, and to bring cake to the soldiers and just to tell them we want to be home. We want to come home safely.
And it has become a very special place. And it must be heartwarming when you see all the support you get from around the world. People from everywhere, including us in the United States, including, I should say, people in the United States, have been very helpful to keep it going.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank everybody that gives his hand here, and his mind, his money, his time, his cakes, because this is the place of all of Am Israel. It's not a private place. It's a part of Am Israel, and everybody is involved and part of that place.
No question about it. Ruthie Gillis, the Pinah Chamah founded in memory of Tzachi Sasson and Dr. Shmuel Gillis, her husband, back in 2001. Toda rabah, kol hakavod. Thank you so much for being here today. Got to thank some of the people that are responsible for our Jewish Unity Initiative. I want to thank Mr. Abe Banda and everybody at Pomegranate for understanding the importance of this mission, for making sure we would have what we need to get it done, and to bring this mission of solidarity and the push for tourism to areas like Gush Etzion. I want to thank our friends at Traveler's Choice, Yossi Devora and their staff at 212-868-8698. I want to thank the people at TravelCell, travelcell.com, for providing the phones that we use to stay in touch with our staff and family back in the United States. I want to thank the Inbal, Alex, Penina, Avi, and Shlomit. The Inbal Hotel, again, our headquarters in Yerushalayim. I want to thank Mayor Kruder of Kruder Photography. Go to kruder.com. A special thank you to Simon Jacob and the Jacob family for all their support and for being here today. Amazing proponents of the Jewish Unity Initiative, and we thank them. I saw Simon got a good video of the Shlomo Katz performance just now. He was enjoying that brand new selection. And of course, to our staff, everybody here, and Jamie and Avrami and everybody back in New York, much appreciated. More coming up. Keep it right here at JM in the AM. We're at Pinah Chamah. Oh, and a big thank you to Ira Hauser. Ira Hauser, thank you for coordinating things so we could be here today at Pinah Chamah in the Gush Etzion Junction. with our Jewish Unity Initiative. It is much appreciated. You could donate to Pinah Chamah and keep it going by calling Tina at 516-532-6468, 516-532-6468.
I can't believe him still knocking at my door. Sudden sirens, midnight crying won't keep me on the floor. When time can't heal that wound that feels like you can't take much more. Keep the calm beneath, let your smile speak, cause I know this for sure. Rumors flying, the river's drying, but we still got one more. The helping hand that sticks around when faith is kept so pure. The clock that ticks won't play their tricks like so many times before. Keep the calm beneath, let your smile speak, cause I know this for sure. Chitter chatter doesn't matter, no denying to keep trying, but heaven's helped so far. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. I keep on reading, I can't believe him still knocking at my door. Sudden siren, midnight crying won't keep me on the floor. When time can't heal that wound that feels like you can't take much more. Keep the calm beneath, let your smile speak, cause I know this for sure. Chitter chatter doesn't matter, no denying it, keep trying, but heaven's helped so far. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. Mountaintops to coffee shops, I'm never alone. That's why I say to you, Altito. Wind in my sails, it's from him, you know. Let me hear you say, Altito. Mountaintops to coffee shops, I'm never alone. That's why I say to you, Altito. Wind in my sails, it's from him, you know. So let me hear you say, Altito. Viva la misión. Yeah, 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 yeah. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like. Utsu waiter, this too far. I've heard them talking like this before.
Eighth day, Utsu Eitza. More live music coming up. Shlomo Katz will be joining us again here at JM in the AM. We're at Pinah Chamah at the Gush. They refer to it in English as a cozy corner, giving the soldiers a cup of coffee, some hot soup, some delicious cake, and a smile here at the Pinah Chamah in the Gush. I apologize that we don't have Rabbi Goldwasser's words for you this morning here at JM in the AM. Rabbi Goldwasser will return Sunday with JM Sunday with Matis, and of course Monday with us at JM in the AM. Tomorrow we are planning on a weekly update with Malcolm Hoenlein. I'm assuming that I'll be able to get from the airport back to the studio on time. And if that happens, then we'll have a weekly update with Malcolm, ironically enough, in Israel. So that's hopefully our schedule for tomorrow. So keep that in mind. The mayor of Efrat is with us, Mayor Oded Ravivi. Shalom, shalom. Welcome to JM in the AM.
Shalom. Good afternoon. or good morning.
Yeah, you could say anything on this show and be right now. How many years have you been mayor?
7 years.
7 years of mayor of Efrat. How many Jewish people live in Efrat?
Who is counting?
Around how many?
Baruch Hashem, now 10,000.
You have to be the mayor of 10,000 Jewish people. Wow, that's not easy.
And believe it or not, we're building housing units for another 6,000, please God.
For another 6,000?
Yeah.
So I remember when Zayat was created, that neighborhood.
So Zayat is now in its final stages of being completed. Tamar and Dargan are being built. We have today 3 elementary schools in Efrat. We're building another 2. We've got 25 kindergartens. We're building another 15. So there's a lot of things going on in Efrat, and your listeners should come and see.
Why did it work so well? How did Efrat get to be what it is today?
I think the idea of combining forces of Americans and Israelis and setting up a town which is open for anybody who wants to come and live with it. There's no committee that decides who is worthwhile and who is being accepted. Everybody is welcome. And at the end of the day, it's all about people. And when one family made Aliyah, we found afterwards that they brought their siblings and their parents, and we have tribes of different families who've literally inhabited the city of Efrat.
How long have you been living there?
22 years.
Wow, unbelievable. And we're just trying to keep up with the schooling, as you mentioned, the whole educational system, the infrastructure of the town, all these new hilltops that are going to be populated by real housing. It must be almost impossible to keep track of all this.
It's possible, it's being done, and Baruch Hashem, with proper planning, we're managing to have all the public facilities, which is schools, kindergartens, mikvaot, shuls, built before the people actually come and inhabit the houses.
That's a smart idea. A lot of towns around here. You have El Azar, you have Neve Daniel, you have Alon Shvut. What am I missing? Give me a couple other names.
It doesn't matter.
You have a lot of different towns around here.
Right.
And I'm curious if someone like yourself feels the cooperation, and other mayors here feel the cooperation of the Israeli government. Do you feel like when you are building, as you just described now, as you're expanding, as you're trying to allow people to lay down their roots in new areas of Efrat, do you feel here in the Gush Etzion region the cooperation of the Israeli government?
I think it's all a matter of what you want to see. Some look at the glass and they will only see the half glass, which is empty, and some will look at the glass and say how much it's full. We're in the junction surrounded by Israeli soldiers, which the Israeli army has sent here, which the Ministry of Defense has sent here, which the government of Israel has sent here. When you know that they're looking after our security, when you understand that the housing ministry is the one who is building in Efrat, when you understand the Ministry of Education is funding new schools, so you can look at the half cup which is full and say, yeah, everybody is cooperating and things are being done and things are moving on. Some will say, there are not enough soldiers, there are not enough schools, there are not enough houses, we want more. I prefer to look at the half glass which is full, and Baruch Hashem, this is our country, this is our government, and if you play right your cards, I think the sky is the limit.
We take special pride in Efrat because it was founded by one of our favorite American rabbis. So he takes extra special pride in the city.
He's got a lot of added value to what's happened in Efrat, a lot of merit. And he's loved up until today, but by all the residents of Efrat.
We speak about Rabbi Riskin, of course, and he has continued to not only oversee the building of Efrat, but to bring to international juries such important messages from Judea, such important messages from this region of Israel. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of the city of Efrat. I think everyone
definitely
serves as an ambassador with this very important message. Now, we're here with a message of Jewish unity today. That's why we're here. And for some reason, and again, it might be because of the Anglo population, it might be because of the size that Efrat has grown to till this point. For some reason, it seems that your city has this ability to really get out these messages to people around the world.
I think it derives from a few things. First of all, Rav Riskin, as you said, has got a lot of merit for doing that. The fact that he travels all around the world, he presents himself as the chief rabbi of Efrat, definitely gets the word spread around. The fact that in Efrat live so many business people who travel the world with business cards from Efrat also spreads the word.
True.
And the fact that at the end of the day we're a city which is open, and at least 2 or 3 times a week I host groups from different backgrounds. Yesterday I had a delegation of Japanese people from the embassy. ask why they came to Efrat. I still don't know, but they came, they showed an interest, asked some questions, took some photos and left. So we try and spread the word around, definitely.
He's the mayor of Efrat, Mayor Oded Ravivi, everybody. Toda rabah.
Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for welcoming us
Keep
to
up the
Gush
good work.
Etzion. Toda rabah. We're going to try our best to continue the good work. Shlomo Katz is next. What song are we doing, Shlomo? Give me a little preview.
You choose.
Which one?
You choose.
I should choose a song?
You could choose any of them.
Shlomo Katz has a concert series coming up in March.
Right.
Where is that going to be?
All over the States.
Give me some examples of cities you'll be visiting.
Los Angeles, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Ooh, Scottsdale.
Chicago, Ir HaKodesh, New York, and probably Cleveland.
Very nice. Shlomo Katz American Concert Series coming up in March. The brand new CD is called Yismach Melech. Shlomo Katz is live. Watch it right now at NachumSiegel.com, live from the Gush. Shlomo Katz at JM in the AM.
והכהנים והעם העומדים בעזרה כשהיו שומעים את השם הנכבד והנורא והכהנים העומדים בעזרה כשהיו שומעים את השם הנכבד והנורא היו כהנים ומשתחווים ומועדים ונופלים על פניהם היו כהנים ומשתחווים ומועדים ונופלים על פניהם דה 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 דו דו די דה 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 איי דה די דה דו והכהנים והעם העומדים בעזרה כשהיו שומעים את השם הנכבד והנורא דידי דה דה דידה דה דודו אורו דידי דה 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 דידה דו 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 דידה דידה די 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 בום 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 בייבי אוי דה די די דידי דה דה דו דו דידי דה דו 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 ונופלים על פניהם היו כהנים ומשתחווים ומועדים ונופלים על פניהם ונופלים על פניהם, ונופלים על פניהם.
Shlomo Katz, amazing, absolutely amazing. We're in his neighborhood of the Gush, here in the Holy Land of Israel. And I want to welcome more members from the Abelo family and the Cronenberg family. They were jealous of the other Abelo family members who had been visiting us during our Jewish Unity Initiative. So they're here now from the holy city of Efrat. I could say that, holy city of Efrat, right? Sure. Why not? He is the one and only Yishai Fleischer. The danger now is that I could spend between now and 9 a.m. speaking to Yishai Fleischer, so we have to discipline ourselves. We have to be careful not to, go over the allotted time limit. Yishai Fleischer, it has been a while since we have spoken, and I'm so glad to reunite with you in this area of the Holy Land of Israel. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, Nachum, and congratulations for another amazing radio tour and coming to this important place in Eretz Yisrael, this anchor in Eretz Yisrael, and bringing, life and connectivity, which is, I think, what really your mission is, and everybody that's listening is getting a chance to mamash be in Eretz Yisrael. Using this technology to connect us. There's so many people that want to disconnect us from this place, want to make us afraid, and you're coming here and doing radio. I think that's amazing.
I remind our listeners that you live in the neighborhood right near Har HaBayit.
That's right. Nachum, since we last saw each other, I got a job. I work at Hebron.
Oh, you're at Hebron, right.
I work as the international spokesman of the Jewish community of Hebron.
Are you there constantly?
I'm there 4 days a week. So I shuttle between Hebron, Ma'at Machpelah, the tombs of the matriarchs and patriarchs, and then I go back home and I have the Mount of the Temple Mount right in my window. So I'm shuttling information between the forefathers and the Temple Mount, and from the Temple Mount to the forefathers and mothers. It's quite a schut,
What a journey, huh?
Yeah, it's a journey every day, and again, the holiness and the history, it's all there, but the effort to try to stop us from making that journey, from coming to these places, is vast and tremendous,
and unfortunately sometimes effective.
Very effective.
Look where we're sitting.
Yeah, go ahead.
These videos of the car rammings and other episodes that happen right here. I mean, we're talking about a few feet away from here. They go viral around the world, and everyone in the Jewish world is watching it. And this is what people unfortunately think, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to Tzomet Gush Etzion, and this is what it's going to be like. No. It's not like that. And thank God it's rarely like that. Things happen. We know random things happen. But this is what, unfortunately, the enemy is able to do, to have a very effective role in changing one's mind about Israel.
Yes, they are masters at creating an alternative narrative.
The enemy is very creative, you and I like to say.
He's good. The enemy's good. Respect the enemy. Respect the enemy. They're doing a great job. But also look at what Rav Soloveitchik said, which is, if you want to understand the mission of the generation, look into what the enemies of Israel are trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish, or in this case, what they're trying to stop us from doing, and that's the thing you have to do. They're trying to stop us from coming to Eretz Yisrael. They're trying to stop us from building in Eretz Yisrael. They're trying to stop us from having a connection with our heart because we're afraid. We'd rather kind of succumb to fear by telling ourselves we just can't make it this summer because it's economically challenging or something. They want us to have that fear. We can't let them do it. And that's why it's so amazing what you're doing here by coming and broadcasting from here. Listen, Nachum, I want to say two things about what you said. Yes, you're right. It's much more normative. It's much more decent and full of life than the images want to portray. But on the other hand, there are bad things that happen here, and that's exactly why we have to be here to answer that challenge. We have to
For some reason, though, people respond better to the good reasons than the bad ones. But I know what you mean.
It's true, but Am Yisrael needs to know that
that we need you.
We need you.
You need us, I should say.
Yeah, we need each other, and we just right now. You got to get into the fight. You got to get into the fight. When your parents are in trouble, you jump in there. When your kids are in trouble, you jump in there. When your sister and brother's in trouble, you jump in there.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what this mission is all about. We heard Carolyn Glick speak recently, and it's funny because many of us read her material and always think doom and gloom. Like, is there anything good happening? They heard her speak, and she said, we get to address these issues. We get to address these issues of having an army, having a state, having a government that we might want to change, having Jewish organizations that we feel need to be outspoken, need to be spoken about, and and be changed in different ways. We don't realize how lucky we are to live in a generation like this, to live with just the ability to have a voice as a Jew in a world like this, and certainly with Eretz Yisrael.
That's absolutely correct. I have a simple formula for what you're saying, which is that the building of a Jewish state is the greatest project of the Jewish people in 2,000 years. This is the project. This is it. We're involved in the most exciting project that the Jewish people have conceived of, have dreamed of, have prayed for. And the Jewish state, for all those folks maybe in Brooklyn who get kind of nervous about talking about the Jewish state, you're right, Jewish state is not a god unto itself. It's not. But it's a vessel. It's the kli, it's the keli. Through this vessel, do we come home to this land? Through this vessel are we reborn as a strong nation? Through this vessel do we get a chance to do the mitzvot, the commandments that the Torah lays out to us that can only be done in the land of Israel? Through this vessel do we get to be close to God, in simple terms. So this is the project of coming home. The state is a mechanism, it's a tool, it's a vehicle. We come home, we build it up, we strengthen ourselves, we push back on the enemies, we come back to our homeland, and we build the Torah. There's a renaissance of Jewish culture here as well. It's not just all guns and buildings. No, it's Torah, it's books, it's teaching your kids Hebrew. And my children are growing up with temple consciousness. They're aware of the idea of the temple. They live with it. And of course the festival holidays, they're in their right time. There's no big shaila, do you sit in your sukkah if it's still snowing? It's not a big thing around here. It doesn't happen. It's the most perfect weather, it's the most perfect everything. And when it's not, you know that God is talking to you as well. So there's something miraculous and awesome about the time that we're living in. And you're absolutely right. For our internal audience, we for the people who've already made it here, now we take it to a different gear, and that gear is, well, how do we fix a problem?
Right.
How do we look that problem into face? This mayor is not doing a good job taking out this garbage.
Right.
Or this army's not doing a good job, or good enough job.
Let's fight it and solve it.
Right, let's deal with it. Let's deal with it.
What's happening in Hebron? What's happening down the road? I'm sure, unfortunately, maybe people will keep this in mind, that tourism has hit Hebron like it has any other populous spot with tourists.
No, it's hit it much worse.
Even worse.
Much worse. Much worse. So Hebron, we're right here on a fault line. Right, as we sit right here, we're on the southern tip of the Gush Junction. This is an imaginary line which is very, very real in people's minds. If you cross over this line, you've come into the south, into the Hebron Mountains, into the Hebron Hills, and going to Hebron is from here another 30 minutes, but that journey is filled with a different sovereign. The Palestinian Authority is around. More terrorism, it's true. And less of the sovereignty of the state of Israel. The army's still there and all that, but as you drive, you already feel that you're kind of less at home.
Right.
And that is
You're in a
because
different place.
that's because the state of Israel has not yet asserted its full sovereignty, its full oomph into this place. And also, that's on the tactical and kind of political science level. On the spiritual level, as you get closer to the holier places, let's name them. Marat HaMachpelah, the tomb of the patriarchs and matriarchs, the tomb of Rachel, the Temple Mount, the tomb of Joseph, certainly. As you get closer to these things, it's more and more surrounded by all kinds of tohu vavo, all kinds of dark energy that want to stop us from getting close to it and want to do everything possible from having the Jewish people really get back to the anchors of Jewish civilization and Jewish spirituality. So our enemies are very keen. They understand. Sometimes you hear Jews say, oh, come on, who needs Hebron? But the enemies know exactly how much the Jewish people need Hebron. And when we come to Marat HaMachpelah, we come to our fathers and mothers. I always tell people think that Hebron is a theological, religious place.
Right.
I say, Jerusalem, that's a theological, religious place. Hebron is our peoplehood. You come to your mother and your father. I want to make it so. One day it's going to be all fakert. It's going to be all the opposite. That one day every single human being that has any inkling in his heart of appreciation for Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will not come to Israel and will not come to Israel and not go to Marat HaMachpelah. You have to go to this place and pay homage to the founders of monotheistic civilizations, the founder of modern-day morality. So people are going to come there. It's an international heritage site. Forget the Taj Mahal. Forget it. Come to Hebron, come to Marat HaMachpelah, and touch eternity.
Yishai Fleischer, Check him out on Facebook. You have a lot of nice people following you on Facebook.
Yes, and right now we're on Periscope. We're periscoping. That's
hello,
right.
Periscope.
Look, folks, it's Nachum Siegel.
There you go.
It's amazing. Periscoping is so cool. You're just doing live TV here. The technology is amazing, but we still want your warm body. It's great to get your Facebook like.
Thank you.
But we got to get people actually here like you.
Tadar Rabba Chayalim. I love thanking the Chayalim.
There they are. Look at the soldiers. Look at these amazing soldiers. There they are. God Almighty, they're amazing.
Thank you, Yishai.
Thank you, Nachum. God bless you.
Kol hakavod.
All right, Nachum, next time in Hebron also, all right?
Bezrat Hashem.
God bless you. Keep up the good work.
There he is, Yishai Fleischer, everybody. The man's amazing. Always has an incredible message. Jewish Unity Initiative continues here at the JM and the AM radio broadcast. We have a member. You could watch right now. Watch right now at NachumSiegel.com. You're going to want to watch right now at NachumSiegel.com. We have a member of the IDF, a member of the Israel Defense Forces with us. His name is Ohad. Ohad, shalom.
Shalom, Menachem.
Nachum. Nice
Shalom,
try.
Nachum.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ra'anana originally.
Good old Ra'anana.
Yeah.
Where are you today? Where did you sleep last night? You don't have to give me details if it's not allowed, but I'm curious, where's the base? What city did you sleep in last night?
All right. Last night I slept, in that corner, right?
You're serious?
Yeah, that's...
You slept in that field over there?
No, not field. It was like a small room over there.
A small little room?
Yeah.
Because your job now is to protect the area of Gush Etzion.
Yeah, on the crossroads. The main crossroads here. Every citizen that takes rides, I need to keep him safe from hazards, stabbing people. That's my job.
So one of the most prevalent news items coming out of Israel, these random stabbings, attacks, people like yourself have taken the responsibility to do what you can to protect the citizens, that they not be victims of those attacks.
Of course, yes.
Of course.
I know
you
my
say.
job.
I know it's your job. I know you say of course, but we're just taking in the enormity of it, how unbelievable it is, and you're responding as if it's not that big of a deal when it's really one of the most incredible things you could be doing.
Well, listen, ever since I got drafted, that's what we learned to do. Trying to teach me what?
To protect people.
Protect people, yes.
How long are you officially on 24 hours and sleep whenever you want? Do you have a timetable of when you're, you and I assume you have colleagues who are doing this with you, right?
Of course, yes.
So how long of a day do you have?
Well, first of all, let's go by hours, right? And every 6 hours, you either taking a position here as a guard or basically have free time to sleep and train.
And what are you looking for? You're looking to see that every car is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and no episodes or incidents are taking place between drivers and passengers, or people maybe running or attacking somebody?
Every suspect, we need to ask him a few questions. The license plates from Israelis and non-Israelis is different. So if there's a suspicious behavior, we need to ask questions. See registrations and stuff. Not mostly, just see that everything is going as usual.
If you're watching now at NachumSiegel.com, this is Ohad joining us at JM and the AMA.
That's the camera, right?
That's the camera,
yeah.
What rank do you have in the military?
What
do they call you?
I don't know the name of it.
How should I address
Rabat.
you? What is it? What would it be, Shlomo?
A normal soldier, like...
Shlomo, what would it be? What we would call a corporal?
Yeah.
So you're Corporal Ohad.
Yeah.
May I ask you your age, or I'm not supposed to do that in this conversation?
Yes, I'm almost 22.
You make it sound like you're getting up there in years. You're almost 22 years
like
old.
in a month or so, yeah.
Who is this that you're looking at over here?
No.
Is this your commanding officer? Oh, you're not I thought you might be. I'm sorry. So almost 22 years old. Are you among the older soldiers doing this work, or are you among the younger ones?
In normal life, I count as older, but in my time in the army, not so much. I'm still young.
But the soldiers you're working with are also 22? Or
no, mostly 19, 18. Yeah.
19, 18 years old?
Yeah.
Doing this, checking cars and pursuing the enemy if necessary.
Yes.
And protecting people.
Exactly.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I mean, we know all this and we hear it all the time, but when we go ahead and meet people like you or hear more stories about, we met a 20-year-old earlier who spent 6 years in the United States and was describing the same type of work as you're describing here, and it just, the older I get, the more difficult it is for me to believe that people who are 20 or 19 or 18, as you just said.
My parents says the same stuff, but
your parents don't believe it either, huh?
That's
what do your parents say about being parents of a soldier?
Well, first of all, my parents both has been soldiers, so
they've both been in the army.
Yeah, so it's different. Like they know what it demand of you,
right.
what it takes, and they help with everything they can. Very supportive.
How often do you see them?
Once, twice a month, maybe 3 times.
What is Shabbat like when you're on duty and you're protecting the people of Israel? Any different than a regular day, or you just try to make it as different as you can so it feels a little bit more like Shabbat?
It's a little bit different, but I'm a religious guy. I don't know if they see the kippah, but...
Well, that's why I'm asking you, because I know you're a religious guy. I'm curious if it's...
We do our best, and yes, it takes to lechalel Shabbat every once or twice, but...
Of course.
Also, that's what needs to be done. Like, you have no choice.
How much equipment do you carry with you?
For now...
What are these? Wow.
Keep me safe.
These knee pads are much different than an NHL regulations. I can tell you that much. Wow.
Yeah, normal stuff. That the ceramic vest. That's if people try to shoot me, it's supposed to protect me.
The bulletproof vest.
Yeah, and a gun, a helmet over there. That's it.
What kind of gun is that?
M4.
An M4?
Yeah.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's a better version of M16.
Does a good job?
Yeah.
You happy with it? You don't go you don't go anywhere without it, huh?
Yeah.
Corporal Ohad is from Ra'anana, and now he serves feet away from where we are at the Tzomet Gush Etzion. Shlomo Katz, what do you say about meeting Corporal Ohad? What do you say?
Thank you.
Mamash.
Thank you.
Mamash. Look, you're home in Efrat. He's right here.
I sleep at night because of him.
But mamash.
No, really.
But it's not just that. My point is that your family's sitting in Efrat, and I'm not criticizing, believe me. I think it's the same thing for my family in the U.S. I believe I could live freely in the United States because of you, but that's a whole other story, meaning because of Ohad. But you're in Efrat, and he is trying to grab a minute or two of sleep right here at this little hut or house that the soldiers are in. It's like a completely different perspective. At the age of 22, and of course, as he said, many of his colleagues are 18, 19, 20. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Yeah.
Ohad, kol hakavod.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kol hakavod tzahal, toda rabba lachem. Thank you very, very much for all you do. I believe not only that people in Israel, like Shlomo and others, can live in Israel because of you. I honestly believe that people can live freely as Jews in other parts of the world because of our Israeli soldiers. That's what I honestly believe.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
we
very
do
much.
our best.
And kol hakavod. It's America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners sponsored WFMU East Orange, WMFU Mount Hope, Rockland County at 91.9 on the FM dial, broadcasting live from the Sonia and Robert Gold studios in Jersey City, New Jersey. And today from Pinah Chamah in Gush Etzion with live music by Shlomo Katz. And you're listening on the web at jmnam.org and, of course, on the NSN app. Shlomo Katz live performance right now. If you go to the NachumSegal.com homepage, live from Gush Etzion.
This is a nigun that was written right here. The first part of it was written right over here. Mamish, and this right here. And it's Erev Shabbos, so we'll sing it L'choved Shabbos. Yismechu v'malchuscha, Yismechu v'malchuscha, Shoy v'lei Shabbos, v'koidei oilei, v'koidei oilei. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך. שוימרי שבת וקוידי אוילי, וקוידי אוילי. דידילי איי איי, שביס קוידש איי איי, שביס קוידש איי איי. Shabbos Kodesh, Shabbos, Shabbos Kodesh. Di-di-di-lay, ay, ay. ישמחו במלכותך שוין מדי שבוס וכהני אויני כהני אויני היי איי איי שבס קודש איי איי שבס קודש איי איי שבס קודש שבס שבס קודש hey ay ay Shabbos Kodesh Shabbos Shabbos Kodesh.
Shlomo Katz, everyone. Brand new CD is entitled Yismach Melech. Go to shlomokatz.com. He'll be in America next month. And you can check out his tour schedule today. Anyone have a schedule for today's programming?
It's on your phone.
Where is today's programming? We have amazing programming on our stream all day long at jmam.org and on the NSN app. Ooh, it's cold out here.
You know,
I'm not sitting in the sun like other people.
We're going back to 24-degree weather.
I heard it's cold in the U.S. That's what I heard, that it's really cold back in the U.S. When I land tomorrow morning, it's supposed to be frozen over there. Shlomo Katz. At least I finally met, well, I shouldn't say finally, because I've met other people as well, but I'm glad I'm glad you and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to the Israeli soldiers.
This guy blew me away.
This guy did blow me away.
This kid's eyes.
It's the humility. How do they get the humility? I never understood that. You know, our people are not always the most humble people. How is it that all the Israeli soldiers have this humility?
I was just talking about with Reb Shimon over here that, look, let's be real. Eretz Yisrael is mashpil game and magbia shvalim. Eretz, if you come here with a little bit of look at me, this country will pound you down. That's so true. Hard. But when you walk around here and you know that you're nothing, magbia shvalim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu lifts you up to the high. This guy probably, he has no concept of who he is.
I know.
This chayal?
He has no idea. He's in that little hut over there trying to grab a couple hours of sleep each night.
Nothing.
Come on.
Nothing. These are my rebbes today. These chayalim, there are rebbes today. My children, Baruch Hashem, I have 3 little girls now. Last time I saw you, I think I was just getting married, actually. It was a long time. I have 3 little girls now. They know we pass by the checkpoints, and there's an excitement. Abba, chayalim kadoshim. Yes, that's exactly what I... Chayalim kadoshim. My tiferet, my 6-year-old, always pass by chayalim. It's an excitement. It never gets old. It never gets old.
It is unbelievable.
Hashem.
There is a dedication of the Israeli soldiers. You know, we had a poll. You know, I don't know if you remember this, but around the year 2000, everybody was doing, you know, the most influential person of the century. And when we did it on the air, we ended up the Chayal, the Israeli soldier, the most, with all the Rabbanim, and believe me, we have plenty of respect for all the Rabbanim in our history and of the last 100 years, and all the significant people in American Jewish life and world Jewish life who had made tremendous contributions in medicine, economics, and everything else. We concluded that it was the Israeli soldier who was the most significant person in the last 100 years.
Without a doubt. We grew up in half in LA and half in Ra'anana. Actually, I think
I was wondering about that. If
Yeah.
you didn't grow up only in LA.
No. Well, it's like I kind of did because I grew up in Ra'anana, so it's kind of like,
Right. Good point.
But my next door neighbor growing up was my best friend as a child. His name was Ari Weiss. Ari Weiss, the son of Rabbi Stuart Weiss. He's a columnist. He writes for the Post, and he was a rabbi. He was in Chicago. He was in Dallas. Ari Weiss was a chayal, and it freaked me out because he was a few weeks shy of his 22nd birthday when he got one bullet, and he was guarding in Shechem, and he was killed. So for me, my greatest, we know a lot of people that want to try to love Am Yisrael and try to do good chesed, to give your life, actually give your life for Am Yisrael, and not even be aware of how holy and conscious of how holy you are. We're always so busy trying to, figure out, are we maldim b'kodesh? Are we getting holy? Or are we getting less holy?
And it's not just that, and I shouldn't even bring it up, but then people get into discussions about Israeli soldiers who have given their life. What level of kedusha have they attained? And I'm like, what? What are we talking about here? What is it? It's mamash divrei shtut.
I can't even tell you what I want to say right now.
Exactly. Shlomo Katz is here. Brand new CD is Yismach Melech. We'll have time for one more song before you go or not?
One more. Yeah.
One more we'll be able to? Okay, we'll do one more before we go.
One more.
Schedule for today, do we have the...
one more.
Do we have the... What do you call it? We do? We have today's schedule. Today, well, 1 second. Starting with Charlie Harari. Charlie Harari's on at 9 o'clock right after JM in the AM with the boardroom. 9:30 will be Michael Fragan with Spin Class. On at 10 o'clock, Allison Joseph's Jew in the City Speaks. That's coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. And That's Life Today is from Tachana Rishonah. That's Life Today is Miriam El Wallach at Tachana Rishonah in Yerushalayim. Joanna Shepson at funinjerusalem.com will join her. There'll be audio and video at 10:30 this morning Eastern Time. You'll be able to take a walking tour with the two ladies and enjoy the That's Life program. 11 o'clock, it'll be Avrami with a live lunch, and we're going to try our hardest to call into the live lunch from wherever we are, so we can, in fact, make good on our commitment of 5 shows from the Holy Land during our Jewish Unity Initiative here with JM in the AM. All right, so that's going to be happening. That's going to be happening between 11 o'clock and 1 p.m. During our live lunch on NachumSegal.com and, of course, on the NSN app. So there you have it. A lot of people to thank, a lot of people involved in this incredible effort to make sure our Jewish Unity Initiative would happen. I want to thank Mr. Abe Banda and everybody at Pomegranate in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you, Mr. Banda. You had a vision for the Jewish Unity Initiative, and it has come to fruition, thank God. We've spent 3 days in the old city of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv and here at the Gush. Traveler's Choice, Yossi Devora and their entire staff at 212-868-8698. Thanks to our friends at TravelCell and TravelCell.com. That's where you want to rent your phone for the next time you need to be in touch with the United States when you come to Israel or anywhere else. A big thank you to the Inbal Hotel, our headquarters in Jerusalem, to Alex, Penina, Avi, and Shlomit. Toda Rabah. Mayor Kruder of Kruder Photography, who's with us, and our amazing staff, including Chief Engineer ZK, Elon Katz, Yoni Pollack, all here on the spot. Miriam El Wallach, of course. Jamie Turkel back in the U.S. Avrami back in the U.S. Avrami Finkelstein. Stan in our studio. Big thank you to Ira Heshi Billet, whose suggestion was to come to the Pinah Chamah today. And thank you to Ira Hauser, who helped us set it all up. And a big thank you to those who've come to support the Jewish Unity Initiative, including the Jacob family, under the leadership of Barry and Simon Jacob, who are the biggest fans of the Jewish Unity Initiative, no matter where it might be in the world. Shlomo Katz, if you look right now at NachumSegal.com, you will see his live performance, his final live performance of the morning for us from the Somet Gush Etzion, from Pinah Chamah. This is where it's all happening. This is where the action is for the present and future of the people of Israel and the Jewish people in general. Come and visit the Gush, all the way from, from the Gush Etzion Junction, all the way down to Hebron, all the way up to Yerushalayim, then start again and go all the way up to the Golan, and go all the way down to Eilat, enjoy this amazing country as we encourage everybody to continue touring Israel and put a trip to Israel on your calendar as soon as possible. Shlomo Katz live on the homepage of NachumSegal.com at JM in the AM.
Oh, da 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 da, oh, did it lay da 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 da, da da la 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 da 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 la la. Oh, da 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 da, oh, da 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 da, da la la la.
Shlomo Katz, kol hakavod. Kol hakavod. Thank you.
Never seen you look more, I don't know what the word is, just so like touched and moved by what these Chayalim.
Oh boy. I don't think we're allowed to take photos with the Chayalim. I wish we would be able to, because if we would, I would just...
surprised he was able to be on.
Yeah, he got special permission. We should have pointed that out, that Corporal Ohad got special permission to join us. Look, the Chayalim are today's Jewish heroes. You know, we've had a collective of people who are assigned to protect the Jewish people from Yetzias Mitzrayim on, when you think about it. There's always been a group of people that, in whatever way they could, obviously when the enemy really had us down, it was difficult to do so, but they were always in leadership roles to try to do what they could. This group, this unique and incredible group of almost the last 70 years, the Israel Defense Forces, are just incredible and amazing. To be admired, real role models for our children. And I don't know if you're aware of this, Shlomo Katz. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. There are so many American youngsters who now at some point joined the Israeli army. There are so many from New Jersey, New York, and all other 48 states who spend time in the Israeli army, which is obviously tremendous. We take tremendous pride in that. Yishai, you knew that or not? There's so many United States students that grow up in homes like ours, real typical American Jewish homes.
I was one of the first students from Joseph Kushner Hebrew Academy to go to the army and to be a Chayal Boded, and it was like a big thing back then. And I came in, you wearing my uniform. They were just like, "What?" They couldn't believe it. Now they just had a dinner where they honored all the people who from Frisch and other places that they honored all these soldiers, Chayalim Bodedim. There's hundreds. There's hundreds now. It's packed.
I know, it's
in fact,
unbelievable.
every unit, every paratrooper unit, a friend of mine is in the paratroopers now. Tons of American kids. So it's become a real norm. Religious families, not religious families, and also the country is much more aware of Chayalim Bodedim, the lone soldiers. There's a lot more centers for them. There's a lot more care for them. When I was in the army, nobody knew what that was. So there's really something amazing right now.
I'll give cover to my father.
The great Avshalom Katz.
My Abba made Aliyah on a boat from Buenos Aires.
Wow.
It took him when he was 14 years old. And he stayed. He grew up here alone in high school, and then he went up. He was a Chayal Boded in 1968.
Unbelievable.
So it's in our blood as well.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But I like that idea of making Aliyah on a boat. I've been telling Rabbi Fest for a long time. I said, let's make a cruise out of Manhattan. Imagine Nachum, 3,000 Jews get on a boat and wave goodbye to Statue of Liberty and say thank you for everything, but we're going home.
And images of all the boats that didn't make it to
That's right.
Israel, that didn't make it to Palestine, should be on that boat. Oh boy! All right, Simon has. Let's give that headset over to Mr. Simon Jacob. We earlier in the week declared him the biggest fan of the Jewish Unity.
Come around the side, guys.
Simon has some very special people to introduce to us.
Okay.
Hey guys, how are you?
Can you say hi?
Hi.
You're saying, you know what?
Hey, you know what? We'll
I need you to wish.
One second, we'll do it this way.
Yeah, I need you to wish Grandma Doreen Shabbat Shalom. Can you do that?
Shabbat Shalom, Grandma Doreen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Simon,
Thank you.
these are 4 of your grandchildren?
Yeah, these are 4 of them.
What are their names?
Okay, come on.
Emmanuel, Benaya, Naomi, Neria.
Oh my God, are they cute? Look at your grandmother, how she is smiling. Oh my God, are they cute? No wonder you love spending all this time with them.
Mwah.
They're incredible.
Baruch Hashem.
This group is incredible.
This is just some of them. So
yeah, Baruch Hashem. There's a really large collection. Thank God. Thank God. It should keep growing. Kain Yirbu, Kain Yirbu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kidding me?
You know, you were talking about Hebron before.
And I just wanted to mention, and I apologize, but it's another personal note.
Yep.
Chances are your mother is listening to the show.
That's who they were wishing Shabbat
Right.
Shalom to. Grandma Doreen.
So I want to give a special shout out to Grandma Doreen and
Thank
say
you.
hi to her, because she would never miss a production of the Nachum Siegel Network.
She doesn't stop. She doesn't stop with it.
Now,
So,
you were saying about
Baruch Hashem.
the city of Hebron. Go ahead.
So, you know, you were talking about Hebron,
Right.
and we've had a couple of experiences there, really incredible experiences there. But one of the things that really hit home was we went there to pray. And as we started Shmoneh Esrei, and you say, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly hits you that, you know, that Shmoneh Esrei that you've been saying your whole life, and here you are, you know, with the Avot, as close as you can get to them. It's just like unbelievable. It just, if that doesn't wake you up and make you realize how important this place is, it's just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to be here with you.
We were speaking to somebody during our live lunch program on Tuesday night that we were doing from the Inbal, and we said to her, how'd you end up in Israel for the last 6 months? And she said, well, my husband said it's time. They live in Bergen County. My husband said it's time to expand the house. I said, expand the house? No. We're not expanding the house in Bergen County. There's no mention of Bergen County in the Torah. We're going to go to Yerushalayim, and this is exactly what you say. You're talking about Marat HaMachpelah. We have such a mission to drive home to so many people in diaspora how different it is here, and how this is our real, true homeland. And it is, and believe me, when I'm outside of Israel, it takes time for me sometimes to remember it also. So we have a really important mission to continue to drive this point home.
One last thing.
Sure.
Well, we've got our friend Shlomo Katz over here. I just want you to know every Shabbat, Nachum plays, the song for Shabbat. So just so that you know, I'm in the background, and every time you say Shabbos, I say Shabbat. Okay? So one of these days, I really want you to record just a track of it with Shabbat as opposed to Shabbos. But no, it's it's just like automatic. So I just want you to know that's what's going on
Shlomo
in
never
my head.
dreamt he'd show up here and get in trouble with Simon. He never dreamt that would happen. My God.
Shalom ubracha.
That's right. V'ahafochu is right.
Thank you.
Mishenichnas Adar marbim b'simcha. Enjoy Adar. Where are we going? I want to get Reb Shimshon in here at
He's
some
right
point.
here. Come. Is it here?
I can't ask Reb Shimshon to be on the air for a moment. Shlomo Tadaraba, thank you for everything. There he is, the great Shlomo Katz. We'll see you in the United States, Bezrat Hashem. I'll tell you, a lot of brotherhood here today. Harav Shimshon Jacob first introduced the Chamah Institute on JM and the AM.
Yes, we did.
How long ago was that? When we first spoke about it. 2 years ago?
Just a year. Just a year. This is our first year. We're in the middle of our first year. Thank God.
It's located in Katamon.
Yes.
You're looking for 12th grade young men and above.
We actually have a couple guys who came in the middle of after their 11th grade year. But yeah, it goes. We have everyone from 17 to 24 at the moment.
All right. If you're looking for what you want to find the Chamah Institute.
If you are looking for a place where you can engage in practical Judaism in a hands-on way and really see yourself grow, see your growth and development as you're going through the process. If you're not a text-based learner, but you're someone who likes to get in there and use your hands more and be creative, check us out. That's what we're here.
Chamah Institute, it's on the web.
It's on the web, chamachinstitute.org.
You were blessed because you got a great core of students your first year.
Thank God, we have a great group of guys this year.
And we're looking to grow even more next year, Bezrat Hashem.
Absolutely.
You were at all the Israel fairs, right? So people have already met you.
Yeah, we're around. People hear about us.
All right.
God.
So if you're high school students or older, the young men out there, check out the Chamah Institute. And today you were concentrating on photography.
They just started today. Actually, they work on a couple different professions and get their feet wet in them. They were doing construction renovation. They just finished a kitchen remodel in someone's home in Har Nof, actually, which was really cool.
Are you
to
serious?
build up the land of Eretz Yisrael. Under the guidance of the person who runs the program, the professional programmer of Avi Ben Zev. So Avram Ben Zev, he runs it, and he just finished a kitchen remodel with them. And thank God they moved on to photography. Some guys are doing some IT stuff. We have one guy who's in the middle of building a 3D printer at the moment, Baruch Hashem. Guys doing some interesting stuff.
A lot of innovative education going on in Israel.
Thank God. We also just finished, they just finished a sugya where they were learning Hilchot Beit Knesset, and they finished building an Aron Kodesh for a Sefer Torah in the community that didn't have one. So,
unbelievable.
Thank God. Very cool stuff.
Reb Shimshon Jacob, thank you, Shimshon.
More than happy. Thank you, Nachum.
Great to see you.
It's great to
Continued
be here.
success with the Chamah Institute. Check it out online, everybody. More coming up. It's JM in the AM on a Thursday morning. I wanted to mention, by the way, we spoke about the lineup for today after JM in the AM on our stream at jmam.org and, of course, on the NSN app. Michael Fragan will have a recap of the New Hampshire primary. Michael Fragan at 9:30 this morning Eastern Time will have a recap of the New Hampshire primary. We are hoping to have a weekly update tomorrow. If the plane lands on time and I'm able to get to the studio, then we will have a weekly update tomorrow at JM in the AM. Ironically enough, Malcolm Hoenlein will be in Israel, and I plan on being back in the United States. And that is the schedule. More coming up, including our interview from yesterday with the mayor of Yerushalayim, Nir Barakat. Yes,
Nachum, sorry to cut in here, but my dad told me last time that I was on the air that if I didn't share a quick 1 minute of Torah with you, then I was really wasting my time. So just to grab 1 minute of yours.
Yeah,
So
you
this
have less
week,
than a minute. Go ahead.
Deal. 30 seconds. So we were looking at Parsha this week, and one of the things that came up was we looked at the sizes of the actual kelim.
Right.
And one of the things that popped up was the Mizbeach HaNechoshet. And if you think about how big that was, right? It's 5 amot by 5 amot and 3 tall. And then that thing is covered, it's plated in copper. Think about how many people had to carry that, right? You're lugging that thing. This wasn't the Aron Kodesh that carried you. This was something the Levium had to lug through the desert. So we were talking about why that is, and one of the things that came up was the reality that korbanot weren't just individuals bringing korbanot, and you have that possibility that someone might think, okay, I'm bringing the korban. This is something that has the potential to where people start thinking it's about a personal thing. And the reality that it required a larger group of people to carry it reminded you, it's not just about me, it's not about a person, it's not about an individual, it really is about a group, because the only way you were getting that thing through the midbar was with a group.
Amazing.
It was really about the Am.
Amazing.
Baruch Hashem, thank you.
That's what it is all about. It's about the Shlomo Katz here at JMN. My interview with the mayor of Jerusalem, Nir Barakat, coming up next at JMN.
Sois tasis besangela kada B'kibbutz banea L'saycha besimcha 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 Sois tasis besangela kada B'kibbutz banea L'saycha besimcha Besimcha Besimcha, besimcha, besimcha. וסרגי להכרה בקיבוץ בניה לסייחה בשמחה 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 סובבייס תסיס וסרגי להכרה בקיבוץ בניה לסייחה בשמחה 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 וסרגי להכרה בקיבוץ בניה לסייחה בשמחה 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 בשמחה
can go to ShlomoKatz.com, get the information about the brand new album, and of course everything that he's doing. It was great having him. It was great. All the musical guests this week were amazing. Thank you, David Fadida, for helping us arrange all that. It was great having Ohad in the orchestra on Tuesday. It was great having... I'm freezing. It was great having Daniela. I'm freezing. You guys are walking around. You're in the sun.
Okay.
I'm here for 3 hours sitting here in the shade.
What are the chances
and
we'd
I'm
have
frozen.
1 week of programming and 2 Ohads?
Yeah, and Corporal Ohad, God.
Right.
Cut up that segment and send it to every Jew in the world.
Kruder. I don't know. The mayors. There are so many mayors in our network.
Can't keep track.
Mayor Kruder took a picture of his...
Yeah.
You know your mic is on, right?
I'm frozen. Go ahead, yeah.
Of his knee pads.
Did you see those knee pads?
Yeah, they are like...
10 pounds each.
Yeah, they're
10
ridiculous.
Pounds, and I assume it's dual purpose.
I imagine.
The God forbid being hit by something.
But what was funny is he was just mentioning the equipment that he was wearing as if, everyone's walking around with a flak jack.
Yeah.
Shlomo Katz is
What did
wearing
he
an
call-
Argyle sweater. He's wearing a vest.
Is that what he called the bulletproof vest, the flak jacket?
No, he called
He had a
it...
name for it.
Yeah, but
He had a name
it got
for
lost in translation.
Yeah,
By the
it
way,
was.
the woman who was here with him was the...
I thought she was supposed to go on the air.
No, Army spokesperson. She was basically... No.
She's the Army spokesperson. She doesn't go on the air?
No, she's the adult in the room to make sure that the questions that he answers...
No, so I was right that she's his commanding officer. And they laughed at me when I said that.
But when you say commanding officer, you mean she doesn't... She
supervises
in
his spoken whatever.
Correct.
Right, I got you.
Correct.
And what about the Chayelet that was supposed to be with us? She never showed up?
I would say that she had a little bit of stage fright.
Oh, give me a break. She was scheduled and then decided not to do the show?
You're going to have a Taina against the Chayelet?
No,
okay,
I just hate when it
Then
happens
let's
that
move on.
way. Don't agree to do it. Get her on our schedule, which is right here, and then pull out a deal.
Okay, but it was an incredible interview with Ohad and
Corporal Ohad, unbelievable. Hero of the Jewish people.
the programming this week. By the way, anybody looking or watching on the video and noticing that Nachum is uniquely taller than usual and I therefore look remotely shorter than usual, it's because he's sitting on 3 chairs. Just want to point that out. I didn't shrink.
I think most people think this is my usual height anyways. Doesn't
Right,
matter.
but you don't. Whatever.
Yesterday, we had the opportunity to speak with the mayor of the city of Jerusalem, who's aware of the fact that we are on our own Jewish Unity Initiative. Mayor Nir Barakat with us here at JM in the AM. It is a great pleasure to welcome the mayor of Jerusalem, Nir Barakat, to JM in the AM. We are on our own Jewish Unity Initiative, traveling here in the country, reminding everybody about maintaining solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Israel, and this is a topic that Mayor Barakat has been very outspoken about. Mayor Barakat, welcome back to JM in the AM.
Shalom, welcome, hello from Jerusalem.
I appreciate that very much. I noticed that Benny Gantz and Natan Sharansky have been named to the Jerusalem Unity Prize Committee. I know that unity is a topic that is of utmost importance to you. As I just mentioned, we're on our own Jewish Unity Initiative to show solidarity with the people of Israel. What can you tell us about how the people of Israel are coping with the current situation, how important it is to be unified at this time?
This is indeed, I believe, in the critical path of the success of the Jewish people, unity. Mind you that this is the second year we're now developing the prize on behalf and on the name of the 3 boys that were killed, that were murdered just before the war last year. And actually, we decided when I went to the mourning families, I proposed, because of the way they acted in the war, in Tzuk Eitan, the solidarity around their behavior was so tremendous that we really thought that we should make a Unity Day and a Unity Prize just to remember that time, that tough time that we went through as people, and to create a Unity Prize. This is now the second year we're developing the prize, and we're dramatically upgrading it. And we want to make sure that people understand that unity does not only have to be in cases of emergency. We can actually have unity in all kinds of projects, in all kinds of places, and this is what we want to promote.
Well, you're doing a great job at it, and we're looking forward to the 2016 Unity Prize nominations. Because of the situation in Israel over the last few months and many episodes in the city of Jerusalem, you've actually called on people to arm themselves in Yerushalayim, in the holy city, and to obviously be more on the lookout for random attacks that are taking place. Have things calmed down? How would you evaluate the situation from the time that you made those statements and what's been happening over the last couple of months?
Well, first people have to understand that Israel is very different than America in terms of arm carrying. Only 3% of the population in Israel carries guns as civilians, and the people that are carrying guns, the majority of them are officers in the Israeli army, very well trained professional, and so it's a major help to the security forces. Indeed, about 40%, between 30 to 40% of the neutralizing terrorists are done by civilians that know their way as good as anybody else. Actually, we do 30-day reserve a year, and we know how to use our arms and go to war. The reality is that safety in Jerusalem these days is much, much better than the average American city. In America, you have, on average, 9 murders for every 100,000 residents. And Jerusalem, with terror and crime together, it's 1.5 murders for every 100,000 residents.
Right.
So when I fly to America, I pray to come back home safely to Jerusalem. And the reality is that the distribution of arms is very, very smart. And God forbid, if we had an attack, it takes less than 60 seconds to neutralize this threat. So that's why Jerusalemites and people that come here feel relatively very secure. We trust our people. We know how that we get engaged if there's an attack, and that's why our streets. You'll see many people walk our streets because we know how to deal with the situation, probably better than anyone else in the world.
Mayor Nir Barakat of Yerushalayim is with us, the Jerusalem mayor, and we're here on our own Jewish Unity Initiative, as you know, in the state of Israel, and we're trying to communicate the message back to the United States and other areas of the diaspora that tourism to Israel is such a key at this time. Could you please help us and give a message to our listeners about how critical it is to get to Israel as visitors, even only as visitors, as soon as possible?
Well, let me combine everything that we just discussed. First of all, for the unity of the people of Israel, not deterring and not changing our course because of terror is a fundamental way to fight terror. And the unity between us is that, when there was a problem in the South, I personally went to see the South and see how I could help. When we see Jews that are sometimes threatened, we get engaged and involved and see how we help them. So coming to Israel at this time is a fundamental statement that we don't give in to terror. The second thing is that when you come here, you're much safer in Jerusalem and in Israel than you are in the United States. And it's very important for our business. It's very important for our hotels and tourism and for our economy. So actually, it's triple dipping. It's good for unity, it's good for business, and it's the right thing to do to show terrorists that we don't deter and we will continue our lives.
We always love your positive attitude and how much pride you take in the holy city of Jerusalem and the Jewish people. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Barakat.
I'm very happy, and come and see us in Yerushalayim. We're waiting for you.
Toda rabah, Mr. Mayor. Be well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
The Jewish Unity Initiative week is coming to a close, and I want to tell you something. We had such different experiences this trip. If you missed Tuesday's show, go to the archive. Har HaBayit right behind us. A really uplifting, happy, positive, thinking of the future of the Jewish people type trip. Kol hakavod, toda rabah. Thank you. No, please. Our Israeli soldiers. Toda rabah. They don't take it seriously when I say toda rabah. Isn't it funny? Nobody thinks it's a big deal except for me. Then on Wednesday, what a different type of show for us. Rehov Dizengoff, the music, the spirit, the corporate, the being in the hustle bustle of the big city, like being in the middle of Manhattan and doing a show. And obviously I'm not comparing the two. We know Manhattan is no Tel Aviv. Toda rabah. Thank you. Toda rabah. See, that's not Army. That's Mishteret Yisrael.
Okay.
Am I right? That was police, right? I think that was police, not Army.
Recruiter doesn't even know you're on the air.
And then today, it's such a different type of show. It is more of the spirit of the Jewish people, the drive, the commitment, the incredible energy, the spiritual energy of the Jewish people all coming out from our visit to Gush Etzion. And I thank everybody here at Pinah Chamah for making it possible. Thank you to Ira Hauser, coordinating everything. Tomorrow we are planning on having a weekly update. I just got to get to the studio on time. We are planning on doing a weekly update tomorrow. Malcolm Homeline's going to be in Israel, ironically enough. So that is our intention. Special thank you to Rabbi Heshi Billet, Young Israel of Woodmere, for his suggestion that we come here to Pinah Chamah to do this show. For the Jewish Unity Initiative, thank you to Mr. Abe Banda and everybody at Pomegranate in Brooklyn. Thank you to our friends at Traveler's Choice, Devora, Yossi, and their staff for making it possible to be on schedule for when we needed to leave the United States and get back to the United States. Thank you, Traveler's Choice, at 212-868-8698. What's up with it?
You are so...
I'm making no sense, right?
You are shaking the whole table.
I know, it's freezing. It's so cold.
Do you know that every person in New York,
Is laughing.
Boston,
Because there,
Toronto,
I know, there it's 12 degrees, right?
Right, and
what is the temperature? Look up New York for a second.
we're going back to cold.
Yoni Pollock looking up New York. It's cold, right? 25? And it's supposed to be really cold tomorrow morning, I'm told.
Yeah, this is a Cholent Shabbos, folks.
The Inbal Hotel. It's our headquarters in Jerusalem. Alex, Panina, Avi, and Shlomit, thank you very, very much. To Travel Cell, keeping us connected with their great rental phone service at TravelCell.com. Thank you, Travel Cell. Mayor Kruder of Kruder Photography taking pictures of a shaking DJ. Thank you. Thanks to our staff, Miriam L. Wallach, Chief Engineer ZK, Yoni Pollock, Jamie Turkel, Rami Finkelstein, Stan in our studio, and everybody for their help in this making this trip possible. It is much appreciated, believe you me. If you want to support the work of Pinah Chamah here at the Gush Etzion Junction, a place that I hope you'll be visiting very soon, Miriam Hauser at gmail.com or 516-532-6468, 516-532-6468. Tadarabah. Where are you from?
Israel.
Where?
Sorry?
Where?
Where? Sorry, Herzliya.
Herzliya.
Is that where your English
A soldier from Herzliya. From Binyamina. A soldier from Binyamina. And? Gan Yavne. Wow.
I don't know where the trouble there.
His English is good. That's why I didn't think it was from him. I didn't think it was from Israel. His English was great. Yeah.
Swag. We got to give you guys swag.
We got to give you guys some Nachum Siegel Network shirts to wear under your uniforms.
You gotta be cold.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, are you kidding?
Really, Ad Chatzia Malchut.
Of course.
You know.
Well, no, for soldiers, even the whole Malchut, everything they get.
Exactly. True.
Tadarabah.
We got
Finally, we met a group of soldiers that we say Tadarabah to, and they're willing to accept it. Tadarabah.
Right. Why? We're on the air in New York right now.
We're on this moment in New York.
They can see you.
And they could, well, don't tell them that. They'll move out of the camera. What is it? It's online and on the radio. Hundreds of thousands of listeners. And we say kol hakavod and thank you to you.
New York City, right? Not the States.
New York City.
The whole thing. Everyone's
That's
on
funny that someone would ask New York City, not the state. Whoever thinks we're talking about the state of New York.
Right.
Of course, New York
What, like
City.
Parsippany?
That's funny. Anyway, what can I say?
Thank you very
It's because of you that I could live in freedom in Chutz La'aretz. See, they get that.
Does he- wait, but
This
it's like-
group really gets it.
Yeah, but he's like, all right, but move here.
I know. We got to come here is right. Got to move to Israel. Boardroom with Charlie Harari follows at 9 a.m. Spin class with Michael Fragan looks in the results of New Hampshire for both Democrats and Republicans at 9:30. An Encore Jew in the City speaks with Jamie Geller at 10 a.m. 10:30, Miriam L. Wallach with Joanna Shepson of FunInJerusalem.com. That was done. Remind me. That was done where again?
That was done earlier today at the Tachana Rishona in Yerushalayim.
Tachana Rishona, they do a whole tour. You could join them on video and audio for that.
A walking tour.
Rabbi Eliyahu Fink is going to do the stunt show after the live lunch, and during the live lunch, hopefully some of our staff members will call in so that we can have an official fifth show with Avrami hosting the live lunch from here in Israel. So our live lunch between 11 and 1, we hope to check in before heading out to go back to the United States. So there you have it, everybody. To all of our incredible families and to everybody who has more difficult weeks when the staff of the Nachum Segal Network is away, we say one big thank you. That's what we're going to say right now. One big thank you. And collectively, I hope that this week has been an inspiring one for the Jewish people, especially in the diaspora. Boy, do I hope so, because then the sacrifice that people have made to allow us to do this and to hit the road and come to Israel and be part of a Jewish Unity Initiative again was well worth it. So again, I really hope so. How many views on the Kosher Halftime Show, Yoni? What are we up to, 12.7?
Yoni, you know I said I needed an update every 15 minutes.
I think it's 12,700. If you haven't seen the Kosher Halftime Show 2016 edition yet with Lipa, make sure to do so. You'll be glad you did. I can tell you that much. Tomorrow we are hoping to have a weekly update, starting at about 7:40 tomorrow morning, depending on the flight schedule and all that stuff. We're at 12,800? Did someone get us to 13,000 already, please? Shalom, shalom. We managed very well, thank God.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
What, Nachum?
Acheinu b'Yisrael and Achim Lachem, our brothers and sisters in Israel, we are with you. It's your favorite America's one and only Jewish Moments in the Morning radio program, heard on listeners-sponsored WFMU East Orange, WMFU Mount Hope, Rockland County at 91.9 on the FM dial, broadcasting live from the Sonia and Robert Gold studios in Jersey City, New Jersey. And today, from the Gush, from the Tzomet Gush Etzion and Pinah Chamah in Israel, part of our Jewish Unity Initiative. Around the world on the web at jmam.org and, of course, on the NSN app. And that will wrap up this week of our Jewish Unity Initiative from Israel. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for watching at NachumSegal.com. Thank you for being part of this very, very special journey and for all the great reaction. Make sure to check out our social media, especially on Facebook with all the photos. Facebook.com/Nachum Segal Network. Looking forward to speaking to you from Jersey City tomorrow and presenting a weekly update with Malcolm Hoenlein. We'll leave that to a last-minute decision just based on the flights, etc., and getting in on time for tomorrow's show. Great programming on our stream right now at jmam.org and the NSN app. Keep it here all day long for our wonderful programming on what we call the Nachum Segal Network. Have a fabulous Thursday from Israel. It's Nachum Segal reminding you, remember the past, live the present, and trust the future.